Welcome back to Chatter and Cheers. Today we are drinking pretty much just like a sex on the beach.
It's got Malibu, cranberry juice, and orange juice.
And it is very yummy.
Delish.
We all know that the holidays have just started pretty much. Like Thanksgiving kind of kicks it off for everyone. And today we have some stories that have to do with Thanksgiving. And maybe not so Thanksgiving.
So with that being said, today's theme is Gobble and Gripe. Okay, so our first story comes from r/Am I the Asshole? The title is, Am I the Asshole for refusing to let my brother bring his girlfriend to Thanksgiving after she disrespected my wife? I, 31 male, am married to Lily, 30 female. My brother Josh, 29 male, recently started dating Lindsay, 27 female. And while she's been polite at family events, Lily feels like Lindsay has made some passive-aggressive comments. For example, at a recent barbecue, Lindsay said it was selfish that Lily and I weren't planning to have kids anytime soon. Lily felt uncomfortable, but I didn't say anything at the time. Another incident happened at a family dinner when Lindsay remarked, "I'm surprised you two are so happy without kids. You must really be good at being selfish." Lily was hurt by that comment and it made her feel like Lindsay was judging our life choices. Most recently, at a birthday party, Lindsay made a comment about Lily's career, saying, "It's cute that you're working part-time with no kids, while Josh and I are really focusing on our careers." Lily was annoyed but didn't say anything because she didn't want to start drama. Thanksgiving is at our house this year, and when Josh asked if he could bring Lindsay, I told him I prefer if she didn't come. I explained that some of her comments had made Lily feel disrespected and I didn't want that to ruin the holiday. Josh got upset and I said I was being petty. He argued that I was overreacting and that Lindsay was just being honest. But I stood my ground. Now Josh says that he won't come if Lindsay isn't invited and my parents are caught in the middle. My mom thinks I'm being too harsh, but I feel like I'm just standing up for my wife. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my brother bring his girlfriend to Thanksgiving?
I think it's actually crazy to comment, woman to woman, to comment on whether a woman wants to have children or not, because it's literally not, it's not your life. I don't want children, and the amount of times that I've had people, men and women, tell me, "Oh, you'll change your mind. Babe, I'm 25. I don't want children."
Yeah, heavy on the you'll change your mind. I feel like a lot of people say that, but it's like, who are you to say what my life is going to look like? And I just feel like it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of weird when people say that because it's like, maybe you change your mind or maybe you want to have kids, but just because you want a certain lifestyle doesn't mean everyone has to live that.
I think we should stop telling people who say that they don't want kids that they'll change their mind, and also, you'll like them when they're your own. If you don't want kids, do not have kids. That is very telling.
Because there's a lot of people that have kids and then you very much know that they didn't want kids or they weren't expecting to have kids, and then it's just in the end, the kids are the ones that end up getting hurt and they end up suffering the most. And it's what's the point if you're not gonna actually be a loving, caring, providing parent? You should have made that choice to not have the child in the first place.
Yeah, there's a Reddit called Resentful Parents or Resentful Parenting or something like that, where it's mostly people who have had kids talking about how much they resent their children. And that's really sad.
Yeah, that's so sad.
There's a lot of societal pressure to get married, have kids, settle down, and I just don't think that's for everyone. And I don't think that it should be for everyone.
Alright, let's move into some of the comments and see what people have to say about this story. The first comment says, "You're awesome for standing up for your wife. I read a lot of these sorts of stories and this so often stands off to the side, letting their spouse fend for themselves. He argued that I was overreacting and Lindsay was just being honest. So your brother defended Lindsay rather than saying, she was badgering Lily with her opinion. I'll go talk to her. I'm sorry my girlfriend treated her that way. Now Josh says he won't come if Lindsay isn't invited. That's his choice, but it is your home and you and Lily are entitled to not be subject to the harassment of someone with an agenda. She is your wife and you are standing up for her. Good for you. Hopefully your mom understands that eventually. Yeah, I definitely agree with this. Like, especially as your sibling, like, I feel like you have to take accountability sometimes and be like, yeah, my partner was in the wrong. Even if, like, they are your partner and you're, like, always going to be by their side, they're not always going to be right just because they're your partner. And sometimes you got to be the one to tell them, like, hey, no, this is wrong. What you said is not okay. You need to apologize, and so on. The next comment says, not the asshole, but I am not sure why you are hiding behind Lily. 2 out of the 3 examples you give, Lindsay talking about both of you, but somehow only Lily is offended. Say you don't like being called selfish either. And honesty is no defense. I think when most people are rude, they mean it. If someone says I am selfish and my career is cute, it's actually worse if they mean it than if they're just saying it for some petty point scoring reason. If Lindsay really believes what she is saying, then she needs to equivocate if she wants to interact with you socially. I partly agree that, like, she is offending both of them and that he is kind of just, like,
Being a pushover.
yeah. But, like, at the same time, I feel like if it were me, I kind of would be standing up for my partner more than I would for myself. In my opinion, how a relationship dynamic would work when I think about it in my mind, my partner standing up for me and me standing up for them in situations like these. That's just kind of how I think about it. So I don't really think that he's kind of hiding behind her, but I get what the person that commented is trying to say.
I think he is being a little bit of a pushover. I think when you are in a committed relationship, you become a unit. So if your partner is outwardly upset about a comment that your sister-in-law,
Sister-in-law, yeah.
especially sister-in-law, is making, I think you should also be offended. I think that you should be offended for your partner and for you together as a unit. I don't know. I'd be pissed.
Very much so.
May I add, may I add that what if they're struggling with fertility? It is no one else's right to make that comment.
I didn't even think about that. Like, imagine just, like, struggling with fertility and then just having that constantly be pushed in your face and said. I would quite literally go manic. I don't even know what I would do because, like, what? Like, that's just insane. That's, like, I didn't even think about that. But, yeah, that's a really good point. On to the next story.
On to the next. Okay. Story 2 comes from r/am I the asshole. It was posted 20 days ago. The title is, My Kids Won't Come to Thanksgiving or Christmas. I know. This is fake. I'm a troll. This never happened. Blah, blah, blah. This is 100% true. I have 2 daughters that are both in college. We have a family group chat with my parents, all of my siblings, and all of the grandchildren. My parents and siblings are all Trump voters / supporters and are not shy about it. Most family gatherings will devolve into arguing between them and myself. I grew up in the shit show. My kids did not. After the election, my kids silently left the group chat. My mother and sisters are trying to plan Thanksgiving through the chat. When my mother noticed my daughters left, she called to ask me why. I told her they are grown adults and she would need to ask them. So she did. One of my 2 daughters is lesbian. When my mother asked the 2 girls, they told my mom that they would no longer be attending any family functions, including Christmas and Thanksgiving. This created a shit show on an epic scale in the family chat. My mother tried to explain to my kids that their vote had nothing to do with them. My oldest explained that they exposed their character and they were raised to not engage with people that condone rape, lying, and cheating. She told my mother that your vote will directly impact our lives in a negative way and you guys did not care. You chose a politician's hollow words over your grandkids. There was more and I'm paraphrasing. My parents and siblings are furious. I think it's important to say that I pay for both of my kids' college, their health insurance, car insurance, food, and gas. I pay for airfare when they come home. They don't work. My deal with them was if they went to school and got good grades, I would pay if I could. My mother wants me to cut them off until they come to Thanksgiving and Christmas. I said no. I have my kids back and they are adults. I will not force them to make a choice they don't want to make. My siblings are saying I'm an asshole and I'm dividing the family. I honestly never thought I'd be in this insane situation, but here we are. So Reddit, am I the asshole? Too long, didn't read. My kids refuse to see my family after the election and my parents want me to force them. They're adults, but I pay for college for both. And yes, this is real, so piss off. There's an edit, but do you have any thoughts before we read that?
I like how the mother is defending her kids. I think that's really important in something like this. I really like how the mother defended her kids. I think it's very important for when making decisions like this to have some sort of support because I know that not always everyone is going to have the support of their family. So I feel like for them to have that support, it must feel really nice on their end knowing that their parent is behind them through everything.
Edit. Good lord. Oh my god. Edit. Good lord, people. First of all, I am a father, not a mother. Okay, I thought it was a mother.
Oops, sorry guys. Didn't mean to misgender. Don't cancel me yet.
Second, I am of course backing my children up. I have told my kids we will be flying out to them for the holidays. Third, for those of you implying I can't or won't cut my family off, I have. I grew up in a severely, physically, and verbally abusive household. I cut them off when I was younger and went away to the military. I thought when I got older I would be the bigger person and give my family, mother, a chance. That was obviously not the right move. I am backing my kids up and cutting the toxic family off. As for those of you implying that my kids are entitled brats or anything similar, shame on you. You're judging my children based on this post. You don't know anything about the two grown women in question. Your knee-jerk reaction is to immediately jump to name-calling and shunning. I guess that is not surprising based on who these comments are coming from. Educated women with opinions of their own and the ability to stand up for what they think is right is incredibly infuriating and scary to the same sort of people. Once again, yes, I'm real, they are real, and the situation is real. If you don't believe it, I don't give a single fuck. You can move along, no need to even post your hate. Period.
Fuck that tea.
First comment is from 19 days ago, so one day after the initial post was made. They say, the fact your mother wants to financially coerce your kids to come endure their abuse is extremely telling. Not the asshole. Great job for standing up for your kids. And then someone replied, if you won't let me do my emotional abuse, I'll just have to try to financially abuse you instead. I'm assuming that this comment is what OP was referencing, because this person commented, not the asshole, but you should plan on meeting up with your kids and celebrate with them. And OP replied, I am. Another comment says, not the asshole. You're not even the one who's not coming, and it's completely unreasonable for your parents and sister to call you an asshole for not cutting them off if they won't come to Thanksgiving. I'm sorry this is happening. It's awful, but please know you are in no way being an asshole. And OP replied, it's my sister's brother and mom and dad, but I'm used to the toxic bullshit. My kids not so much. Basically everyone is saying that he's not the asshole, and I would agree. I don't think he's the asshole at all. I think he's doing a great job at supporting his daughters, especially for his queer daughter, his lesbian daughter. It's a really rough time right now in politics and in the world for anyone under that queer umbrella. I think he's showing his support the best way that a most likely cisgender straight man knows how to. But one last comment was, not the asshole, time for you to start putting your family on a contact timeout. Don't do holidays with them this year. And OP replied, I think that may have to be the plan.
I think I support the daughter's decisions to not go to Thanksgiving or Christmas, especially as someone who falls under the LGBTQ umbrella, the queer umbrella. I think during this election, this past election that we just had, it's very important to know where your family, your friends, and everyone you surround yourself with, their morals stand, and if they obviously aren't aligning with what you stand or what you see for yourself, especially when it's like very personal to you, then I think it's very important to take that initiative to cut them off. So I definitely agree with them and stand by them. I also love the dad for being behind his kids and being just like by their side through all of this because I know it can be really hard. Personally, thankfully, I've never had to cut anyone off in like my family or really close circle due to issues like this because I'm very mindful of who I surround myself with. But I know there's people that have, and I know it can be really hard. And I just really love the dad being by their side. And I think it's very special and it shows like that they have that good relationship. And overall, it just makes me really happy to see parents and kids doing what's right and standing up for what's right and trying to like actually move forward and do better with life and do better with what's going on in the world.
I unfortunately did just cut off a family member after the election. I have lots of friends that fall into categories in which our new president is not really pro. It hurts. It's not an easy thing, but I mean, if OP has already been through this before with his mom and some of his family, then I don't know. It's his decision to keep his parents and his siblings in his life if he wants to for him. But I don't think that he's obligated in making his children stay in contact with people who do not align and obviously don't support them. Yeah, I don't know. I agree, he's not the asshole. I think that he's doing a really good job as a dad.
Alright, so our third story comes from r slash am I the asshole? And this was posted 3 months ago. The title is Am I the asshole for refusing to do Thanksgiving this year? I'm 40 female and I have 6 sisters. My 2 older sisters are 44 and 47, and my 4 younger sisters are 38, 36, 34, and 32. We've always been a close-knit family, and for the past decade, I've taken on the responsibility of hosting Thanksgiving at my house. I enjoy having everyone over, but it's a lot of work, especially since we all have at least 2 kids each, all in the age group from 5 to 15. It's chaos, but joyful chaos. My husband helps out, but the majority of the planning, cooking, and organizing falls on me. Are we surprised? No. This year, I decided I need a break. Life has been hectic, and I'm feeling burnt out. Between work, taking care of my kids, 10 and 11 male, and other responsibilities, I'm just not up for the task of hosting a big family gathering. So I suggested that one of my sisters takes over hosting Thanksgiving this year. I brought this up in our family group chat thinking it would be a reasonable request and it's plenty ahead of time. However, my 2 older sisters, Sarah, 47, and Emily, 44, were not happy with this idea. Sarah has a busy job in a smaller house, so she feels she can accommodate everyone comfortably. Emily argued that she's been dealing with a lot of stress lately and doesn't have the energy to host. They both suggested that since I've been doing it for so long, I should just keep the tradition going, especially since my house is the most spacious and I'm the one who knows how to do it right. My younger sisters were more understanding, but they also hesitated to take on the responsibility. My sister Jessica, 38, said she would be willing to help out more with the preparations if I hosted, but she wasn't confident about hosting the entire event herself. The other younger sisters offered similar compromises, but no one was willing to take on the full load. After some back and forth, I stood firm and I said I really need someone else to host this year. I suggested we could even make it a potluck to ease the burden, but Sarah and Emily were still upset. They accused me of being selfish and abandoning a family tradition that I've upheld for years. They argue that I'm the one with the most experience and that Thanksgiving just wouldn't be the same if I didn't host. Now there's tension in the family, with my older sisters feeling like I'm letting them down. I feel like I've done my fair share over the years, and it's not unreasonable to ask for a break, but at the same time, I understand that my older sisters are also under a lot of pressure, and that hosting Thanksgiving is a big deal for our family. So am I the asshole for refusing to host Thanksgiving this year after doing it for the past decade? She did make a little edit. It says, the second oldest, Emily handles Christmas. So I feel like it's totally fair that she does not want to do both. She does not cook though, she hires a catering company, but it's still a lot to take on regardless.
I'm just gonna chime in here and say that it sounds like weaponized incompetence. You have the most experience, so you should do it. Well, why don't you gain some experience?
Right, like, what do you mean you don't want to... Are you just lazy? Because it sounds like all of her sisters are just lazy, and they don't want to help or stand up and take the initiative to do something that their sister is asking them to help with. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, especially when they're like, how dare you not uphold the family tradition? I mean, you guys are family, so you guys can all do it. Like, why don't you just, like, divvy it out between the three of you? Like, I feel like that makes the most sense, right?
Literally the most sense. Also, I think it's really weird that she has to do all the, like, cooking, cleaning, and preparations for the party. Because I feel like normally when you are hosting a Thanksgiving or just, like, some sort of family gathering, then each person has to bring one item, or each person is required of, like, the turkey, the ham, the mashed potatoes, the mac and cheese, and for her to just be in charge of everything, that's selfish on all the sisters. Because why are you making your one sister do everything for the entire family? That's weird. Alright, let's get into some of the comments. The first one was written 3 months ago, so right around the same time it was posted. It says, oof, they have nerve. No, of course you're not the asshole. You've been doing the lion's share and want a break? How dare you? And your sister using the excuse that she's stressed? Guess what? Welcome to adulthood. We're all stressed here. You may consider mentioning once more the possibility of a potluck at someone else's house and maybe even offer your guidance for whomever decides to take on the task. But that would be it. You've done more than enough. Yeah, definitely agree. Just like we were saying how it's kind of like strange that she has to do everything. I think a potluck is just the general idea when it comes to family gatherings, and I've never been to any family gatherings or parties or anything where one person has done everything, because I just feel that doesn't exist, because no one ever does that, because that's not what you do.
No, even we just had like a Friendsgiving with each other and one of our friends, Noelle, and we all brought something. I mean, I made things, and then Alex prepared a salad, and Noelle prepared she brought chocolate and crackers and prepared a little dip. I think that's just, I also have never been to a family gathering or anything where it's just one person doing everything. That doesn't make any sense to me.
It literally makes no sense.
That's a lot of tasks for one person, and also stress.
The next comment says, not the asshole. Thanksgiving is a lot of work. Your sisters are using tradition as a tool to manipulate you into doing a lot of work without any reciprocity. 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 Reciprocity.
It's reciprocation, but reciprocity. Hold on. Reciprocity.
Your sisters are using tradition as a tool to manipulate you into doing a lot of work without reciprocity. I think you've been too nice. Was that right? I don't think it was.
Why is this word? Why is this word so hard?
Why do I always choose so hard words?
Reciprocity.
Reciprocity.
Anyway, you guys get the point.
I think you've been too nice. Lay it out frankly. Either the work of hosting Thanksgiving becomes more equitable, or you're not hosting your sisters ever again. Period. Because, as I've mentioned before, I just feel as if it's very strange for one person to host the whole Thanksgiving. And it seems like from the comments that we've read so far and just looking at the rest of them, everyone else agrees that it's a lot of work for one person to take on. One, hosting, you have to clean your house, you have to make it ready for people to come over, you have to set it up, and then two, to do the actual work of cooking and making the dishes, but also three, part of that goes into going to the grocery store and spending money. It doesn't say anything about them putting in any work to help, but if you think about it, this sister is spending her own money to buy these groceries and ingredients to make all the foods, and her sisters and family is just coming over to eat and enjoy Thanksgiving as a holiday when they had to do nothing. Like, it's just not fair, and it seems like everyone else agrees that it's not fair. It's weird, it's strange, and I think overall it's just these sisters need to take more accountability and put in more effort into helping.
Yeah, I would agree. It just kind of seems as if it's one of those situations where they want their cake and to eat it too. Um, that's honestly all I have to say about that. I don't know. I don't think that OP is the asshole at all. I don't know. It's just a lot. I don't know. Not the asshole. I'm kind of angry at this one.
But wait, we're not done. There is an update, so let's see how this goes. It says, so the sisters and I got together on Friday night and had a good talk. I may or may not have had a mini breakdown on them. On Saturday, Emily called the company that she uses for catering at Christmas, and they're going to do Thanksgiving for us. Still happening at my house, but they're like full service catering too. They come and set everything up, are there for the service of the food, and then they take everything down. Sarah, Emily, and I are going to split the cost, and since I normally don't split Christmas costs with them because I did Thanksgiving, I will now split Christmas costs with them. This will be how we proceed moving forward. I cannot tell you all how much I appreciate the helpful comments and support. I feel like such a weight has been lifted. I know some are going to comment about the younger sisters and why they don't contribute to the cost. The answer there is pretty simple. They are less established in their careers / or are single income households due to stay-at-home parenting. They help in a lot of other ways in day-to-day life, and we three older sisters really don't mind paying the bill for the holidays.
Oh, I think I like that outcome a lot better. It seems like everyone is kind of putting in their own work. And I like that the one sister just kind of gave off her little secrets for that catering company. I think that was a really good idea. And now the mental load is on all of them because they each have to prepare equally. Yeah, I think that was probably the best outcome that they could have gotten.
Like Bunny said, I love the outcome of this. They all have to do something, which is how it should have been from the beginning. So it's kind of strange that they had to take this long to actually get to this point. How do you feel about the younger sisters, though?
It doesn't matter if you're established or not. It doesn't matter if you have kids or not. It doesn't matter if you don't make as much money. You can still contribute a bottle of wine, a drink, a charcuterie board, fruits, vegetables, dips. You can make brownies that cost $3 at the grocery store. It doesn't matter. Just contribute something.
Okay, I think we're done with this story because a bitch is pissed off. This made me mad for everyone. Even with the update, I'm still mad. So, next.
Before we get to the last story, I just want to give a trigger warning. It does have to do with talks of dementia and death. If you don't want to read that, so just skip ahead, I guess. I'm gonna take a little sip.
I got a little ahead of myself and she's basically gone.
If I can taste any alcohol, I just can't drink it.
Oh, I think I begin to drink more when I can taste it.
This is coming from r/Ask Reddit 8 years ago. She's a little ancient. The post was archived. I can't see it. I also don't know how to work Reddit. But the first comment is from I Am Nobody Special, also commented 8 years ago. My dad was dying of cancer. He was in a rehab center after surgery because of some mild temporary dementia. In parentheses, from the surgery, it happens to old people, but improving. Me, husband, and kids traveled 7 hours to spend his last Thanksgiving with him. We get there, and it's a drama-rama. My sisters had been fighting because the older one wanted to take him out of the rehab center against medical advice. Thankfully, he was actually discharged the day we got there. We bring him home on hospice care the day before Thanksgiving. The other sister steals his narcotic pain medication. Yikes. I had to intervene in that, as well as keep the older sister from killing her while shielding Dad from the drama as best I could. That's just a tiny sampling of our Thanksgiving that year. Christmas was equally awful. The silver lining was that my dad asked me to take him out for a drink at Christmas. I helped him into the car and we drove to a bar/grill. He wore his flannel pajamas. We sat at the bar, just the two of us, away from all the family drama, and enjoyed a couple of drinks. He died just after New Year's. I still cherish that short time having a drink with my dad on one of his last days. It says there was a comment, but I don't see it. It's not letting me click anything, but...
That was, like, low-key depressing. What? She said she's grateful for that little time that she had with her dad at the bar, getting a drink right before he died on New Year's. But it still would be so depressing for that time to come around, especially because December and winter, like the winter blues. So I really feel for her. I really hope that 8 years later now probably doesn't get easier each year, because that's her dad at the end of the day, and I don't think I could ever get over my parent dying, no matter how long it's been. But I hope she's doing good. I hope she's thriving. I hope she has an amazing holiday this year, and I hope she's able to be around people that she loves.
I hope she's healed. I hope that commenter is healed. At least a little bit. It's kind of a sad way to end the episode.
Yeah, like, what? Sorry guys, sorry to drop this ball on you. It was kind of dropped on me too. I didn't know this was coming, so... yeah.
Let's end this one off with a happier one instead of that sad comment. Sorry guys. This is coming from r/AskReddit 11 years ago, also fucking ancient. What are some of your Thanksgiving horror stories? Also, archived post. Can't see anything, but I can read the comments.
She's in a silly mood, guys. Maybe the Malibu hit.
Okay, this is coming from a commenter who has been deleted, but it reads, every Thanksgiving there is this woman who shows up to eat with our family. In parentheses, it's a huge family. She's a family friend of my aunt and always brings her kids. Well, she got divorced a few months ago, and as a result, she reverted back to before she got married and turned into a slut. Back up a few months to the day of my high school graduation. After we graduated, we went out and naturally got drunk as shit. Well, this was about 2 months after her divorce at this point. I saw her and I recognized her, but I don't think that she knew who I was, in parentheses, even though she had seen me at every Thanksgiving dinner since I was a kid. Well, we were drinking and I was dancing with her. She was very drunk and was coming on to me really hard. She was like 40, but she was a bona fide MILF. One thing led to another, and I ended up having sex with her. We weren't exactly subtle about it either. I pretty much carried her up the stairs in front of the whole party, up to my buddy's room, so needless to say, word got around. Now cut to Thanksgiving. She got back with her husband, and then she showed up the dinner. Apparently, she had forgotten that I was her friend's nephew. She comes in with her kids and her husband. The look on her face when she saw me was one of utter disbelief. The entire time, her husband was giving me the evil eye. It was obvious he wanted to fucking kill me. The most awkward part was when her kid came up and started talking to me. As soon as he did, the father was like, "We are leaving," and basically dragged everyone out the house. Everyone was just sitting there in complete silence. It was obvious that some of my family knew about it too. Thankfully, nobody said anything. It was terrible, to say the least. Too long, didn't read. I fucked a family friend, and then she showed up to Thanksgiving with her family.
Bruh, what do you mean? This is insane. Like, what?
I love a bona fide MILF.
Literally, bona fide MILF. Okay, work. Eee.
I don't know if there's much to say there. I think that he had fun.
He did. Love that for him. Love that for the mom.
Hate that for the husband.
Hate that for the husband. Love how the kid just went up to him and started talking though. That's kind of funny.
Stepdaddy.
Well, guys, thank you for tuning in to our second episode of Chatter and Tipsy. We hope you guys enjoyed these stories as much as we did. It was really fun reading all of these as it is per usual.
Sorry, there was no episode this past Friday like there was supposed to be.
Mm.
Miss Alex is not great at time management like right now. There's lots going on, so I get it. But yeah, I mean, Thanksgiving was yesterday. We're recording this on Friday, Black Friday, so this should be up Monday, and it will be up Monday. Yeah, I don't know. This was a good episode, I think. Hopefully the sound and the quality is a lot better. We're using 2 mics this time. Hopefully it's just a lot better than last time. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate comments and replies about the stories, whether it be on the YouTube or Instagram or whatever.
And as we mentioned in our first episode, if you guys have any stories that you guys want us to read or anything you guys want to see us talk about, definitely feel free to comment, send us a DM, whatever you want. I want to know what you guys want to listen to and what you guys want to see.
Bye, girls.